Hello, I'm Janet Hayward with On-Site Physical Rehab. And today I'd like to talk to you about lifting. And I know many of you are saying, lifting, I hear it all the time. I know, lift with my legs, not with my back. But I'd like to talk about the anatomy in a little bit more detail to help you understand how to lift with your legs. And the important thing, and we're going to bring my friend Mr. Bones out, is that when you're bending or squatting to pick an item up off the floor, you want to move from your hip joint and from your knee joint. Many of us think that our squatting is coming from here, higher up in the pelvis, and that's sort of where we put our mind to guide it. And actually, that's going to cause you to emphasize movement there and place more strain on your back. So I'd like to talk and help people be more aware of where their hip joint is, so that when they are lifting items, they can pay attention and truly lift with the legs. So on yourself, your hip joints are down here, and you can just move to feel that, or you can rotate your leg in and out and you'll feel it move. And when you're going to lift an item, remember that you want to get a nice space of support, and then you squat by bending your knees and hips so that your back can remain straight. If you're really tall, at this point, you will have to round your upper trunk to reach this. I happen to be short, so that's not usually a problem for me. But you'll have to round it out, and then you pick it up to get your back to neutral again. And now you can again move at this hip joint and your knee joint to stand back up. So when we say lift with your legs, what we're talking about is bending at that hip and knee joint and not at this low back area. And I know many of you are saying, well, that's great if I had to lift that way. Many times we do have to lift on our jobs in very awkward positions. We maybe are working in a tight spot, or we have to squat and then reach to gather the item. But I think it still helps to understand how to move and where that hip joint is, so that when you're having to lift from these unusual situations, you can problem solve and try to figure out, how can I do this particular lift and keeping my back more in neutral by using my hip and my knee joints to do that movement. So I'd like to thank you, and we'll talk again.